Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action, and the lads are ready! Yes, indeed, we're going to be taking the Goblins, all Vanguard, up against the Dwarves, so let's go ahead and have a look. Pretty standard all Vanguard list for me, if you've seen my list before. Got 4 Night Goblins, including the 2 Regiments of Renown in the center, 4 Skulkers, all with plenty of chevrons. We've got the T-Fraubas, Goblin Wolf Chariot, Mangy Marauders, Death's Creepers. We've got a firing line of 2 Gobbo Archers and the Rusty Arrows. Goblin Great Shaman, which I unfortunately forgot to put on a Wolf this particular game, so he wasn't able to Vanguard with everyone. He's just currently sitting in the back. We've also got Moon Howlers out on the side here with some Squig Hoppers, more Squig Hoppers down on the low ground. For my opponent's Dawi defense here, he's got a cannon protected by some Slayers, Longbeards, 2 groups of Iron Breakers, and in the front, more Longbeards. Looks like 1 unit of Longbeards with Great Weapons as well, 2 Iron Drakes, 2 Longbeards with Great Weapons, that is, Rune Smith and Grombrindle. And right off the bat, Goblins running in here. I actually didn't see the Iron Drakes on the initial engagement there, so yeah. That was a brutal shot. Just did about 20% HP damage to those Gobbos, and going to be routing them off quite quickly. I really need to start focus firing with these Night Goblin Archers, but again, I really didn't notice these Iron Drakes at first, and I am paying a heavy price right here. Just look at these Goblins getting absolutely roasted. A little bit of friendly fire from the Dwarves as well. Gobbos charging uphill into blasting charges. This is a little bit rough, but should be able to at least get in and get a little bit of damage done. The Fanatics working their way uphill did disrupt those Iron Drakes a little bit. They actually kill one? Nope, they did some good HP damage, but yeah, you can see they just roasted out those Moon Howlers, trying desperately to get to the Iron Drakes with melee units, but this Longbeard, having broken through that Goblin that just got roasted, unsurprisingly, is coming forward. The cannon's also focusing on the Great Shaman. He's a pretty small target, but at the same time, he's a high-value target, obviously. Doesn't have a lot of HP either, so won't do a lot to take him down. Curse of the Bad Moon opened up here. Didn't do a whole lot of damage, but I figured, hey, any kind of disruption or damage that it can do in this backline will be great. We interrupted these Longbeards, and now we're going to shoot them down with these missile units, but I am using up a lot of ammo having to shoot them down, and again, I'm not able to focus on these Iron Drakes. I'm going to pay a heavy price for that. You can see Itchy Nuisance in this pocket. It does allow these Gobbos to trade a lot more cost effectively, but here comes the flame from on high, and it's going to be painful for these boys here. Oh man, that Goblin scream as they get roasted. Oh man, yeah, the T-Frob is trying to punch through, but unfortunately Goblin Wolf Chariots are pretty light, so they do actually have a pretty hard time pulling through Dawi infantry. I'm not the biggest fan of them in this matchup. I mostly brought it just because it has Vanguard, but yeah, a little bit of a regret there. But you can see these Iron Drakes just continuing to roast out these Skulkers. Infantry fight was honestly going pretty well in my favor. I just had a numbers advantage, and I was able to surround a lot of units, but those Iron Drakes just swung it right back. You can see finally I realized I need to focus these guys down. And once I do, I'm able to take them down relatively quickly with a concerted focus fire from my Skirmish Cab and the Gobbo firing line here. They're able to take them down relatively quickly. This other unit finally gets charged by Squig Hoppers here. The Runesmith also in that pocket as well, but these Iron Drakes, having already done a ton of damage, a little bit late to have gone on top of them here. 54 kills, no XP chevrons, but just the fact that they were able to do a ton of leadership damage and rout off those units, which otherwise they might not have won, but they would have done a lot more damage, certainly. Very good use of that there. Of course, the Iron Drakes do carry this burnt effect here, which does give -8 leadership. So again, very good against the low leadership Goblins and the Horde-style faction to use that kind of flamethrower to just clear out all the chaff. See the cannon remounting the artillery here. Very heads-up play by my opponent as well. Trying to use these Squig Hoppers to chase routing units if I can, but currently the Dawi leadership's holding pretty strong at the moment. There's only a handful of units that have actually routed off so far. And I am wasting a little bit of ammo here, continuing to fire, doing some friendly fire to those Moon Howlers. But yeah, I just really wanted to take those Iron Drakes out. At this point, though, I could probably switch over to these Longbeards or the Iron Breakers, but it's tough to say. The other issue is this guy right here, with the nice white beard and the angry look on his face, has taken like 0 damage whatsoever. And that's going to be a problem. He's got 70 melee attack and, you know, lots of weapon strength, super powerful character, so it could potentially be a big problem. Another Curse of the Bad Moon from the Shaman coming down here, and the firing line going to open up on these Longbeards. With great weapons, obviously with no missile block chance, they will get pretty much torn to shreds here. But they are going to continue to push through. That Runesmith also, we should be able to isolate. I'm going to actually bring the Great Shaman forward, use Sneaky Stabbing on myself, and try and duel him in melee. But in the meanwhile, we're going to pull back the archers one more time, see if we can't get some effective fire on some different units. But you can see Squig Hoppers here, again, trying to chase down these routing units, shatter what's left. Unfortunately, my forces are also having a hard time holding their leadership together, and the balance of power is definitely not looking great for me at this point. So you can see these Longbeards here, though, will probably lose out these nasty Skulkers eventually. It's tough to say, but we'll see. The Runesmith definitely taking some heat right now. This little skirmish cav squad, though, has been able to do some good damage. Of course, the Mangy Marauders having a full 60 unit models. Well, they don't have all 60 at the moment, but they have pretty good AP values as well. 10 AP per shot with 60 shots, you know, giving a potential total of 600 AP damage per volley is actually super solid, considering the cost of these guys. They're also immune to psychology, as many of the Goblin regiments for now are. Those that aren't unbreakable, of course, like these bad boys. I have used up all 3 casts of the Fanatics here on the AP Loonies. They're up to 54 kills. We've done some pretty good work, and of course, being unbreakable, they did hang around until the late game as well. One more Curse of the Bad Moon here. Curse of the Bad Moon, it should be noted, actually is a pretty nice, it carries a pretty nice debuff. It does a decent amount of damage. It's not amazing, but it does have an armor sundering debuff as well as a melee attack debuff, melee defense debuff and speed. Unfortunately, I did just run my own troops through that, but charging in here in the late game, trying to finish off these Ironbreakers, but of course they do have charge defense against large, so that Squig Hoppers, because they charge from that front angle, my opponent did a good job in facing them towards me. I'm not going to get the most value from that charge bonus. You can also see that the Rusty Arrows and Night Goblin Archers having started to run out of ammo, so I was not great about conserving my ammo here. I did definitely waste quite a bit of it shooting targets that I didn't need to, like this Runesmith, for example, and like those Iron Drakes after they had already been routed off. And it's going to come back to bite me again in the late game here, so just a few key mistakes early on, not focusing on those Iron Drakes, and yeah, not using my ammo a little bit better on that Gobbo firing line has come to haunt me in the late game here. I still feel like, even with the balance of power being what it is, I have the tools to come back. There's only a handful of Dwarven infantry here, but of course, there's still the White Dwarf, and he is still basically completely healthy, having taken almost no damage throughout the course of the battle. And because I have no more ammo or armor-piercing troops, these Squig Hoppers having just been foolishly sacrificed by me into those units, that's going to pretty much be it. He finishes off the AP Loonies there, and we're going to try and bring things back, but you can see the Chariot in the back line is going to be chasing these routing Longbeards and stuff. Gets a good charge in there. Little bonus versus infantry should be able to help rout them off. I was going to send the skirmish cav to do the same, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. The Runesmith also came back from routing, which is a little bit unfortunate. I was really hoping I'd be able to push him off the side there to bring the balance of power back a little bit, but at this point, the Goblins, because they're so close to army losses, they're going to have pretty serious leadership issues, and I mean, potentially I could maybe cheese something out here, like with the Chariot or with these Cav continuously cycle charging, but even then, Grombrindle's a pretty sturdy character, and he does have great stats and huge weapon strength. He'd probably be able to cleave through just about everything that's left, so he does get knocked over there. I'm going to charge in on these Slayers, again, just trying to finish off any of these units that I can. Quick in and out charge with the debuff from the shots. Should hopefully rout them off. The Ironbreakers are still holding strong, as are these ones. They've even still got some blasting charges left. But yeah, that's not looking great for the Gobbos. So, well played to my opponent. This build, you know, I have probably close to a 90% win rate against the Dwarfs with it. Granted, this one, again, I did make a couple of mistakes. Not to take anything away from my opponent. He definitely played very well with his Iron Drakes, especially just, you know, keeping calm and collected, just staying in the pocket, continuing to fire in at different targets and doing a good job. You know, once one target routed, he would immediately switch to another. So I don't want to take anything away from my opponent's performance there, but I definitely made a couple mistakes. Try to point those out. Just you know, for my own sake, so that I can improve, and also so that you guys can improve as well. But yeah, this list, pretty nasty against the Dwarves. I'm not super sold on the Tiefrabbas. I might actually cut these guys down for just like another unit of Wolf Riders, just to tie things up, and maybe dump some more Chevrons into some other units. But for my opponent, Grombrindle, man, in the late game, I just did not have anything to deal with him at the end there. I maybe could have cheesed out the Iron Breakers because they were so low on leadership, but Grombrindle, man, he's just a thief in the night, just an absolute menace. Super angry, understandably so. But yeah, for the rest of my opponent's army here, 96 kills on the Slayers. Obviously, the Iron Breakers racking up a ton of kills with their blasting charges and their high melee defense. They can stand and battle the Greenskins chaff all day. And because I didn't have the Wolf, I wasn't able to really get this guy into melee much. The idea with the Wolf against the Dwarfs is that you can use him to chase routing units. That will count as him being in melee, so you can recharge the wall with relatively little risk that way. It does make him a bigger target for things like cannons potentially, but he's also fast enough to dodge the shots as well. But yeah, that was just a straight up mistake on my part of just not selecting the Wolf in the army selection screen, so my bad on that. But well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.